Good afternoon. Something a little different here. My canvas is a wood slice. I actually got a pack of these wood slices last year, and I had some left over. So I'm going to start with this lighter blue. I coated it with watercolor ground a couple of days ago. Always tricky to remember exactly how much water I should use. So there's that sweet spot where the ratio is just right and it doesn't bleed too much. So I was thinking a little blue wreath, and then actually, now that I look at my nails, quite like that, with some gold. So here we go. I'm using my round 4. I could probably even go lighter than that. I want to add a darker blue to this, so this is kind of the underlayer. I did paint on wood slices a few times before, but not recently. Thanks, Frankie. So I've got kind of one cluster of leaves here. I'm going to do another and then another just to group them so I don't have to kind of keep one continuous loop. I can course correct if I find myself veering off, just to make it easy for me. I could even do a little line before. Again, I said I wanted to do another layer on top of this, so it's okay that my leaves are not completely perfect here. I have a little bit of dry brush effect happening, and I like it. Makes me feel better about covering it up with another layer if they're not totally perfect. Okay, a couple more for this segment. Seabreeze, you're so right. Imperfections is perfection. Looking for balance here. So those are 2 segments. I'm going to do one more and then a bit of a darker blue, and then some gold. So a very quick painting, a very tiny canvas today. I have another wood slice all prepped with watercolor ground. I don't know what my plan is for that one yet. I'm seeing so many hand-painted ornaments this year on my feed already. They're gorgeous. I haven't painted on ornaments, but those clear ones or like a white that you can get a whole bunch and use watercolor ground as well, I think. I've never tried that. Frankie, I actually thought you would have tried this already. That's funny. Okay, so I've got Deep Sea as my second blue. Wanted to be just a little bit more delicate with this one. Not quite as full as that base layer. And this one I am kind of rotating the wood slice as I go. Oh, no. That project, Hammer and Stain, that is a larger piece of wood, pre-cut, and there was a stencil already placed there. So somebody with their Cricut made some designs, and the teachers were just choosing which one they wanted. And you add in black acrylic on top so that the outline is just flat black, and then you peel off the template, and then you can paint with your colors. So I just ran out of time because I was doing my own watercolor sessions and I just didn't have enough time. So here's one half of the second layer there. I have watercolor ground, so I decided instead of using the paints, I would use watercolor. So this one I could have used a pencil sketch beforehand. I could have put a little bit more thought into where my lights and darks were, but it's just a small piece of wood. So if it doesn't come out perfect, I don't care. It's fun. It's something different. And actually, the last time I did this, it was for Halloween, and I painted a little watercolor misty tree scene, and I had some bats in the background. So it's been a while. Okay. My last little branch here. I was initially going to have two of the darks, but I'm just going with the flow here. You could do different styles of leaves. I'm just doing these long, sharp leaves using my round 4. All right, so that's the 2 blue watercolors, and then I want to add in some gold. Looking at it, and I could do some sort of open gold leaves in some places. It's looking very fall, which I like. Yeah, isn't that cool, Frankie? It still has that look of watercolor, but I like the clear watercolor ground because you could see the wood underneath. There's watercolor ground that's opaque white as well, which would really make your watercolors more vibrant, because then it's like painting on paper, but then you lose that beautiful wood detail. I'm gonna go for the gold. I have a couple of golds with me. You know, silver would have looked good with this too. I guess that's an option for my other watercolor wood slices that I'll do. Okay. Something like that. So I'm going to kind of look at my composition that I've got so far. See where things are a bit unbalanced. See where I could add in a little bit of gold. Something like that. Yeah, my favorite silver is Chrome by KMS. And I didn't have that out. Otherwise, I probably would have grabbed that one. Frankie, did I ask you about ATC? It's not ringing a bell, so ask again. You might have, but I don't, off the top of my head, remember what that stood for. Artist trading cards. No, didn't ask me about that because I don't know what that is. This is the part where I'm starting to hold my breath. I know this is supposed to be stress-free and relaxing, but gold details are a little stressful, for me at least. So now I'm at the end stages. Okay, so Frankie, artist trading cards. You paint a thing and trade it with other artists. Do you add on to what you got from the other artist? Is it sort of like a chainmail of art? Or just trading something that you've done? So Frankie says, I think you're supposed to paint like 10 of the same image. Oof, then I'd be out. I think I've only painted 2 maximum of something, unless it's cards. Collecting cards, that's interesting. I've never heard of that before. Is that something that you're working on now? Designing a whatever your calling card will be? No, I've never heard of it before. Okay, so I'm adding a few dots in places. I don't know if I like it yet or not. Maybe I'll add some splatter of gold. This could have been berries on a branch or something. Still could be. Yeah. Either splatter or berries on a branch. But not these dots. There we go. Something more sizable. No, I was actually going to leave the other side blank. What I did was, for the last time I did something like this, I just painted the year on the back. So I could do that. I didn't treat the other side with watercolor ground, so I can't use watercolor at the moment. It would just spread all around and not look good and not retain its shapes. Yeah, there are all sorts of possibilities that you can do. I have a little spot of sunlight on my desk, so I can show you what this looks like. Right there in the sun. It would be a little bit too much of a reflection of that light, but there we go. A few minutes and a cute little design. So I'm very happy with that. That is Mrs. Hand Painted Gold, and then the two blues are Aloha watercolors. And did not mean for my nails to be an inspiration from this, but I guess they were. So blue and leaves were on my mind. It is actually surprisingly nice outside. I was reading outside for a bit. I might go back and steal some more sunshine because this week is going to be very cold. So I think that's where I'm headed right now. I don't know if I'm going to be coming back on later. I think this is going to be it for today. I might paint, but it might just be for myself next time. But I will be back tomorrow for a Sunday Live and into next week. So I have my tutoring because work is back again next week. So Wednesday and Thursday I won't be here. But other than that, I should be painting with you again soon. So thanks for joining me, and thanks for seeing something a little bit different. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday.